Most people are familiar with the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego as found in the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. Now, people use this story to talk about faith, to talk about not bowing to idols, but that is a very distant second to the main message of the story. And this message is a foreshadowing of God, our relationship with God, and Jesus Christ. Let me lay the groundwork. Nebuchadnezzar made a decree throughout all of his land that everyone should bow to a golden statue that was made of him at the sounding of the symphony, the trumpets, the gongs, everyone would bow. When that happened, everyone bowed except for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego. Now they had defied the order of the king for worship. And because they had defied that, Nebuchadnezzar was so furious that he threw them in a fiery furnace and stoked the furnace so much that it burned many times hotter than what it normally would. Now, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego were bound hand and foot, and they were thrown into the furnace. But what happened is that Nebuchadnezzar looked in there and saw them walking around, but he also saw a fourth individual in the midst of them, keeping them safe. Now, Nebuchadnezzar described this fourth individual as like a son of man. So the foreshadowing is this, and this is the main message that we must take from this. God gives everyone, every living thing, humanity included, a decree to worship Him and Him alone. Man, in his and her sinful state without Jesus Christ, we defy the order of the king to give him worship. And so our punishment, and rightfully so, is to be thrown into the lake of fire, to be thrown into hell as the final punishment in the second death. That is it. But Jesus, the Son of Man, Son of God, fully human, fully divine, stands in the midst of that. He intercedes and He keeps us safe. And on top of that, He releases us from our bonds. Shadrach and Meshach and Abed-Nego were bound hand and foot. Well, being with Jesus releases us from the bonds of sin. That is the gospel. We are deserving of wrath from God because of our sinful state. But through the atonement and the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross, willingly going to the cross, being killed by His Father, that wrath has been thwarted. It has been justified. And we no longer are going to have to worry about the second death.